Hello, Lana. So today I am not here to teach you any concept. I'm not here to talk about global perspective. Rather, I am here to talk about KAPREPS, that is Karishma Attar's preps, and why I'm putting in all the efforts and energy in building this. So here I'm going to share a story that will answer it all. I was in grade 12, just 18-year-old, and I was questioning this thing. Why should my entire future depend on how I perform in this moment under this exam circumstances? That question changed everything I believed about education. And today, I'm going to share why that one exam mindset is not just unfair, it is scientifically proven to be destructive. I am Karishma Attar. I am founder of KAPREPS, Karishma Attar's Preps, where we help students achieve top grades through science-backed, skill-based learning. But my story begins with one of the darkest moments of my life and the realization that would shape my entire mission of building this business. And here's what breaks my heart about our education system. Millions of brilliant and hardworking students are made to believe that worth depends upon one test taken on one day under circumstances completely beyond their control. Think about this for a moment. A student could be dealing with family crisis, illness, anxiety, or any number of life challenges. But our system says, too bad. This one exam will determine if you are worthy of a good college, a respected career, or even basic validation from the society. We have created a system where lakhs of students prepare for years, but only a tiny fraction make it through. Parents sacrifice everything, financially and emotionally, for one shot. Children's self-worth becomes tied to a number on a scorecard, on a result. Real learning and skill development takes a backseat to exam strategy. But here's what really frustrates me. We have scientific proof that this approach is not just unfair, it's counterproductive. So now let me share the research that will shock you about what stress does to academic performance. The neuroscience of test anxiety. Dr. Sian Billock's research at University of Chicago shows that when students experience high-stakes testing anxiety, the working memory, the very cognitive resource they need for complex problem solving, gets completely hijacked. The prefrontal cortex, responsible for logical thinking, literally goes offline under extreme stress. And you know what? The numbers are staggering. Test anxiety affects 40% of students globally. And in India, you can imagine the number. High-stakes testing reduces performance by 10 to 40% even among well-prepared students. Students from disadvantaged background show even greater performance drops under pressure. The second one is the single point of failure problem. Educational psychologist Dr. Linda Darling-Hammond's longitudinal studies reveal something crucial. Single high-stakes exams are the worst predictor of future success. Her research across 50,000 students over 20 years showed that students who scored lower on single entrance exams but had strong foundational skills outperformed high scorers in the universities and career campus. Portfolio-based assessment predicted future 3 times better than single exams. Countries with holistic evaluation system produce more innovative and adaptable graduates. The third point, that is the trauma impact. Here's the research that hits close to home for me. Studies by Dr. Ross Thompson at UC Davis shows that students experiencing major life stressors like family, illness, death, or financial crisis show measurable drops in cognitive function that can last for months. 10 days before my board exams, I wasn't just emotionally devastated. According to neuroscience, my brain's learning and memory systems were literally compromised. Yet the system expected me to perform as if nothing had happened. The research verdict is clear. Single exams measure test-taking ability, not true competence. High-stake pressure reduces learning quality and innovative thinking. Holistic, skill-based assessment creates better learners and more successful individuals. And that is why you see all the entrepreneurs today are mostly the backbenchers and not just the toppers. So what's the alternative? And this is where my journey into international education, understanding global education, opened my eyes completely. When I started teaching, or rather facilitating, the international curriculum systems in 2014, I experienced something revolutionary. Instead of one final exam determining everything, students were assessed through continuous coursework that measured real understanding, practical applications that tested genuine skills, portfolio development that showed growth over time and eventually helped them get into top universities, inquiry-based projects that required critical thinking, that is the most crucial ability in today's world. And here's what I discovered. Top grades can be predictable when students develop the right skills rather than the random when they are dependent only on single conventional learning strategy. And this experience led me to develop our science-backed, skill-based learning process at Karishma Attar's PREPS. So instead of preparing students for one high-pressure moment, making the child memorize, burn out, sit for long hours, go for back-to-back tuition, I started working on building the exact systems that will build the capabilities that create consistent excellence. In our strategy DTDUR, D stands for diagnose. We first identify exactly what skills needs development, not what content needs memorization to get an A star. T stands for think. We train students to think, question critically and analyze problems systematically. D stands for develop. We build competencies through targeted practice and application to improve grades. U stands for upgrade. We continuously refine and improve based on performance data. R stands for retest. We use strategic retrieval practice to ensure permanent learning, not just limited to exam paper. And the result that I have been noticing for past 10 years in my journey is my learners who are following these strategies consistently achieving good grades. Most importantly, what I call it as grade transformations. Critical thinking skills that serve them beyond exams. Confidence that comes from genuine competence. Resilience built through gradual skill development. And most importantly, future readiness. And that is where, if we are teaching you a subject as global perspective or business studies, we map it to your future goals because that is what we want, not just good grades. In an AI-driven world, the students who will thrive are not those who can memorize and regurgitate under pressure. They are the ones who can think, question, adapt, and solve problems that AI cannot. Single exams test memory and test taking abilities, but skill-based learning and skill-based teaching builds the human capabilities that no machine can ever replace. Now, here's what I want you to understand. Whether you are a student or a parent, your worth is not determined by one single exam. Your potential is not limited by one score. Your future is not decided by one day. So for students, if you're struggling with exam anxiety or feeling like your entire life depends on one test, I want you to know there is a better way. Focus on building real skills, critical thinking, problem solving, clear communication, and focus on the curriculums that are designed to provide you these skills, not that which are going to test you under pressure for memory and the redundant skills that are no more useful. For parents, it's a request to stop putting all your hopes and financial sacrifices into preparing your child for just one exam. Instead, invest in teaching your child to learn for that exam using the right strategies, using the skills that will serve them for life. Support their growth as a thinkers, not just test takers. I always have wanted to build something meaningful from that painful experience. And that's why Karishma Attar's PREPS or KAPREPS exist. to ensure that no child ever has to feel that their entire worth depends on performing under impossible circumstances, focusing on rote learning as their benchmarks to success, not the skills that they need to develop through the right curriculum. Share this video with any parent or student trapped in that one exam mindset, using the wrong learning techniques of rote learning, back-to-back tuitions, burnout, or just focusing on one exam, not the skill. Comment below with your own experience. Have you ever felt the unfairness of one single high-stake testing? And most importantly, when you were taught that just by memorizing you're going to get good grades. Next week, I'll be sharing the exact neuroscience behind how stress affects learning, the specific techniques that we use at KAPREPS to build exam confidence through genuine skill development, not memorizing and rote learning and burnout. And remember, excellence is not about surviving one exam or not about learning through the wrong strategies. It's about building the skills that creates consistent success. And that journey starts with refusing to accept the wrong techniques, the wrong teachers, the wrong systems. Build skills, build confidence, and the grades will definitely follow. See you in the next video.